What's up guys, Tech and Tyler, and today I'm going to show you this Westinghouse NEMA head that I've had now for a couple of years, and this light in particular is kind of a special light because this was up and running on a house near a park that I would go to a lot as a kid, and I remember seeing it all the time. And when we would go through the neighborhood at night, I remember the light working. And I also remember at some point too, I believe the light was day burning. So the photocell went bad, so it was constantly running. And that could be possibly the reason of why it stopped working. And I ended up getting it fixed because when I got it, I actually got it because of my job. Being an electrician, we got called out to a service call at the house, and I was really surprised about that. And the job that we were going to be doing was replacing this light with a LED one and also fixing, I think, a few other issues. But I was super excited to get this light because of the fact that I remember this light on the house and looked at it all the time. So to be able to have this was really cool, especially because of the fact that this is the first Westinghouse NEMA head that I've ever had. I have a couple of other Westinghouse lights, but not NEMA heads like this though. I have one more that I just acquired a couple months back, and I'm going to make a video on that one too because that one's really cool. But that one didn't work either due to the ballast being burnt up in it. So I put another one in it, and I might have mentioned about it in another video that I did about the one particular light that I talked about the replacement ballast in it. But anyway, this light is a 175 watt mercury vapor. It's not 100 watt. I've seen these where they've also were 100 watt. I actually know somebody who has some of these that they got, and they're 100 watt, but this is 175 watt. Now, when I first got it, it was in really dirty condition, had a bunch of moss growing around it and on it and in it, so it was really dirty. So I took it apart and I cleaned it as best as I could, and it turned out pretty well. And I also ended up figuring out what made it stop working. So the wire from the ballast to the terminal actually had fried off. And I was kind of stumped at first when I did work on it because I was like, I didn't see anything wrong with it at first. But then I realized, I'm like, oh, the wire's fried. And it was just barely touching that connection point. So it was kind of trying to work, but it couldn't strike an arc to be able to cut it on. And I ended up figuring out the issue, making a quick fix, and it works fantastic. So we'll take a look at the light first here, and I'll show you the repair I did, and just overall look at the light in general and the condition of it, and then we'll put it on an arm and I'll get it working. So I already have it on latch, so all I have to do is just remove the NEMA head itself, set it over to the side. Now, this refractor here is in really good condition, and if we look, it's the original one. It's got the Westinghouse logo on it. Now, this does not have any crazy big cracks in it. It has a couple of small little cracks in it, like one right here, and then it's got a couple of hairline cracks, like right here and one right here, but it's only right here. It doesn't go all the way up. It's not like, it doesn't have any huge cracks going all the way up this. Like most of these you see are, or where they're completely broken. It only has a couple of small cracks, and they might be due to just like stress fractures from getting hot and cold and stuff. But overall, it's in really good condition, and it cleaned up really well. So I got the refractor cleaned. I cleaned up the inside of it as best as I could. That's just kind of like corrosion all throughout it. I couldn't really clean that off that well. But I got it as best as I could. You can kind of like feel the texture of it. So it's not like just stuff stuck to it. It's just like corrosion of the metal, since this is I think this is like a aluminum, and aluminum corrodes kind of weird where it turns into like powder, but I could be wrong. This could be steel. I'm not too sure. But I think it's aluminum. I want to say just a thicker aluminum. But if we look here as well, where the latches are, I ended up having to take new screws on both sides here and adding them like that because the rivets that were inside of it had broken, and so there was no way to repair those rivets, so I repaired it by using nuts and screws, which worked out really, really well. So overall, it's a really good conditioned refractor. And now we'll take a look at the NEMA head. And if we look at here, you'll be able to see on the back of the light right here, the Westinghouse NEMA logo as well. Anyway, sorry about that. Little bit of an interruption there. We're currently having a storm, so the basement kind of leaks a little bit of water, and I had to take care of that to make sure it wasn't touching anything and make sure it wasn't bad. So my apologies. But anyway, where I was last at was I was showing you the Westinghouse logo, and like I said, that's what it looks like. It's got the original terminals, original socket, original ballast, and on this side of the ballast here, which is it's dark in there, it does have the original sticker on it, and you can still kind of read it. And if we look very closely, right there where my finger's pointing, where that gray wire nut is, where the shadow is moving, that's where I did the connection to fix the light, so that way it could work again. And then on the top of here, I went ahead and put the bypass cap on the top of it. But if we look on the top of here, it surprisingly doesn't have the Westinghouse logo on it. Now I know some of these, usually they have the Westinghouse logo on the top, so I was actually kind of surprised that this one didn't. But yeah, there's not too much really to look at on this fixture besides the logo and stuff like that, but it does have a slip fitter here that is designed for just a normal size pole. It's not a 2-inch slip fitter for the bigger poles. It's just a basic normal size, like 1 1/2 or 1 1/4, whatever size it is. I'm not too sure, can't remember off the top of my head. But so what I'll do now is I'll get this mounted on the arm and we'll get to turning it on. Okay, so now I have it on an arm. So I have the bypass photocell on it, like I said a little earlier, and then I have my 175 watt Sylvania test bulb in it, and so we're all ready. So I'm gonna get the light shut out and then we'll get to turning it on. So if I turn this off, I can now plug in the fixture and we'll be able to see it cut on. And there we go. Now this light also is very quiet, very, very quiet. It's got a slight hum to it, but that's about it. But other than the slight hum, it's very, very silent. So I was quite surprised too that it wasn't super, super loud. A lot of these lights are quite loud a lot of the times, and it can be annoying sometimes, but I do like the slight hum of it if it's a little louder. But in this case, this one's pretty quiet, which is nice. But yeah, the light works perfectly fine. This is the first time in years that I've cut it on, so I'm happy to see that it still works. And like I said, I still got to do a little bit of repair work to it. But I also have, and I don't know if I mentioned it already in the video, but I do actually have one more Westinghouse NEMA head that I will be making a video on. It's an older one. I'm not too sure what year it is, but I know it's quite old. I think I want to say it might be from possibly the 60s, and I am missing the refractor on it, and it had a pretty big glass globe refractor on it, so I'm going to try to find a replacement for it, because when I got it, it didn't have one, and the ballast was also fried in it too, so I had to put a new ballast in it, which I mentioned it in the one video of the not part 2, but the number 2 General Electric 201 SA fixture I had. That one had the ballast in it that I took out of that fixture to put in this one to repair it, and then I stuck a different ballast in the other light. But I'll make a video on that one at another time. Also, if you look right down here, you can see a glimpse of this light and another light right here. These two I just grabbed recently, so I'll be making a video on those. I actually just picked up a whole bunch of lights from an auction, so pretty cool. I got them all for a very good price, and I probably picked up about at least 30, 40 possibly. Close to 40, but about probably 30 something, I'd probably say, of different variants. There are a lot of duplicates, but different variants. So I'll be making videos on those too, so I got plenty of lights to make content on, which is good. And I'm glad that everybody so far is enjoying the videos that I'm making, and I definitely appreciate it. So, but yeah, as we can see, it is getting up to full brightness, and this light actually gets up to full brightness pretty fast. These nice old ballasts and these lights, they work so much better than the newer ones or the more cheaper variants of them too, like the ones you buy in the store that have the mercury vapor Regent ballast in them, like the Regent ones and stuff. They work, but they're cheaper ballast and they don't really warm these up as fast. So, but yeah, we're at right now full brightness, I'd want to say, maybe almost completely there, but from the looks of it, we're at full brightness, and it's very, very nice and bright. It works very well. I love these older refractors too. These ones make the light shine out of them so much nicer too, to where it actually helps like angle the light in directions to help actually light stuff up. So this is a very, very nice light, very nice, and it works really well. So happy to have this in my collection. And yeah, I just wanted to make a quick video on this, talking about it a little bit and showing it off. And yeah, nice old Westinghouse. So until then, stay tuned for more videos, and like, comment, subscribe, and thank you.